Listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange radio show.
This is the reality
yes.
of the world that we're living in. A lot of young people don't have the information that is necessary to have healthy lives. And a lot of the organizations that are geared towards young people don't have individuals that are going to be as honest as this gentleman.
One of the issues that I have with this quote unquote Christian nation that we live in is that
not just the Christians,
being religion allows you to live in denial, but the world does not live in denial. So who are you helping with your? All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm about to do something.
The reason I shrink that or take that away because it's people who are not religious. It's people who they're not giving their young people, or they don't have a person that could be that honest with them. I mean, we all have that. I know I had a mother like that.
There are
rather than
and it's just and it's been recently because I've recently had more interaction with teen mothers than I have in my whole life. I wasn't my mother wasn't a teen mother. Her mother was. She made sure none of her daughters were. So it was, in as I get older and working in certain areas, you tend to run into that. And one of the things that blows my mind is how often a teen mom does not talk to their child at all, period, much less their daughter that they had at 15 to say, these are the realities of sex. These are the realities of the choices that you can or cannot make. These are the realities. Like, how do you not, after going through it yourself, knowing the stress, the looks, how do you then turn and look at someone else and say, all right, good luck? I mean, this is your offspring. I'm sorry. I just get very emotional about that. It bothers me.
Hey, everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show. Now, here's one little speech I'm going to give you before I get into the next article. Here's what I want to tell you. Still, but fear is big business. Fear is big business. I'm not telling you not to be alarmed by what you're seeing. I'm not telling you not to be concerned. What I am saying is not to buy into the notion that we should be afraid. You should be informed. You should be aware. You should start educating yourself about some things. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answer. I wish I could say that if you did X, Y, and Z, you might not get shot by the police. I wish I could tell you that, but I can't. But what I can say is just start making yourself aware of what's going on, but don't be so consumed by what you're seeing that you become afraid, that you don't want to go out. Or you become numb. That's a good point, Nate. Nate said, or you become numb to it, like you just don't.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now. Hey, what's up? And welcome to the Artist Exchange radio show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I am your host, Nate. My co-hosts aren't here, so it's me talking to you all on this Friday, the 29th of September. This month is definitely flying by, and I am loving it because my favorite time of the year is here, the fall. So I'm ready. And we have a guest coming a little bit later. His name is Corey D. Coleman. He's a writer and such, so he'll be here shortly talking about what it is that he does. I am here today. We have a couple events coming up. One tomorrow, I'll be at Tamika Nicole's networking event. She was here last week. Well, actually, no, I interviewed her this Monday on Black by Demand radio show. She will be hosting a network event at the New International Club on Baltimore Street. So you should come by. It's free admission if you have a business card, and it's $10 otherwise. So get those business cards out, bring them on down, be ready to network. There'll be some refreshments there, bar, Plenty of other businesses have already RSVP'd and will be there. So definitely come on out. I'll be there. I'll also be selling my jewelry. So if you are a fan of my jewelry, if you don't know about it, come on and get to know about it. And there'll be plenty of other businesses representing their businesses. It won't be just vendors and such. So you come out, you network. You meet Tamika. She is the owner of the Style Lounge. She's formerly one of the hosts of the show that follows the Artist Exchange on Fridays. It Is What It Is radio show. And shortly she'll be having her own show on the station. So definitely look out for Tamika Nicole. I'll post a flyer once again on our website. This going into, we've been here for 3 years now. And we're entering our 4th year here at Be Exposed Radio. So I definitely am very thankful and grateful for everyone that continues to not only support the show, but the guests that comes on, the sponsors, everybody that has been so gracious in helping this mission go forth. I've really enjoyed doing the Artist Exchange. I love talking to new businesses and artists and individuals that just got something to say. So if you want to be featured on the show, definitely hit me up at the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com and send me your bio, links to your page or website, so on and so forth, and I'll send you out some dates that are available. So that's tomorrow. Will be at the Style Lounges Thank You and Networking and the Style Lounges networking event at the new Internationals. That flyer, I'll post that shortly on our radio show page. So that's this weekend, and actually this is the last show of the month tomorrow. And then we'll be in October. And next Friday, we'll actually have Mr. Dumarsay, Sonny Dumarsay. He's a singer, a musician. He'll be joining us next Friday. And then next Saturday, we'll be at the African American Authors and Empowerment Expo at Morgan State University. In the Student Center. So definitely join us live. We'll be live broadcasting that day. So definitely come on out and showcase who you are. You can get on. We'll be live, interviewing from 12 to 2 as normal, but we'll be there all day from 11 to 5. So definitely come on out. We'll be doing a regular live, a Facebook live, and taking pictures and talking to people, so on and so forth, after 2. But from 12 to 2, we'll be live on air. So definitely come on down, interview with us, and get your business or your brand, marketed that day. And that's at Morgan State University Student Center, in Morgan State University Student Center, right on that campus. So come on out for that. And that is for the African American Authors and Empowerment Expo that happens every year at this time. This is their 2nd year at Morgan, so definitely come on out. It's free. It's plenty of authors going to be there. Sonny will be performing there with a number of other people. I believe his whole band will be there. Also, that day there are a lot of workshops and meetings going on where it shows you how to publish a book, how to market your book, business, entrepreneurship, and health related empowerment topics. And they're all in these little rooms, and you can go in there and you can go in and out to the various different symposiums and talks and workshops that are going on. So definitely take part, and all of it is free. And these are experts. So if you're looking to write a book, or you already have a book and you're looking to market it or brand it, there will be experts there that do this for a living that are giving free advice to individuals like yourself. So definitely come on out. And that is next Saturday, the 7th of October at Morgan State University, in the Student Center. I forgot the name of their Student Center, but if you ask for the Student Center, it's right in the center of the campus. So definitely come on out to that, and come and enjoy yourself. Like I said, next Friday we'll have Sonny Dumarsay, and hopefully Miss Richburg will be joining them as well. She probably will. So we'll have both of them in the house, hopefully, on next Friday. I want people to start sending me your questions. If you have any questions that you want answered by artists, or you looking to do things, we have a big network of individuals that aren't just artists or just business owners, but are curators of art. So if you are an artist looking for a venue to be able to perform, or you're looking to be a part of an organization that helps artists, whatever things you may need as an artist, even as a business owner, I have a lot of experience myself, or I know the person that I'll be able to send you to. So definitely hit us up, the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com. Or when I send out the post, definitely send out your questions or your comments or all those things to me. I'm just checking the time real quick. So I see Ernest is watching. So today we have a conversation with the author. So we'll be talking more about writing and all that. I am not the best creative writer. I can write a term paper, I can write a letter, but beyond just creative writing, I've never been able to really do that. And this has been my year, actually. I'm not saying I can't do it, but it's not something that I've ever done before. But this year has been dedicated to me journaling. So if you follow me on social media, mainly Facebook, because that's one I do the most, that and Instagram. If you've been following me on either of those, you notice I've been just throwing out random posts. It's not anything nothing's wrong, but I've been trying my hand at becoming an author. And it started last year when I met I actually interviewed a number of authors from the expo last year. And talking to a lot of them, I already journal. Every now and again, I journal, and I just write down notes in my journaling book, but never with the focus of actually writing a book. And talking to a number of them last year, I actually got the energy to just get up and just tell my story. I don't have a salacious past and all that, but it's a little juicy. But I really wanted to help specifically young men, but people in general that have gone through some of the things that I've gone through, and I don't feel like I have the answer, but I know in telling your personal story, you can be helping somebody else. And I shared some of my thoughts with a few authors that I know, and they gave me kind of the green light to go forth and just tell your story. May of next year, it will be out. Right now, I'm just going through my journals and kind of creating content also, and just going through what I want to share, what I don't want to share, and really trying to define what it is that I want to put out there. So that's the process that I'm going now. And I didn't know that this could be that hard. I thought if you had an idea, you can just write it down, cut it up into chapters, put a nice pretty cover on it, get it published, and that's it. But what I'm learning from things like the Authors Expo is that it's a lot more complicated than that. And if you really want a piece of material out there that is valuable and it's of quality, it takes time, and you shouldn't rush, especially if you're telling your personal story. If this was just a creative story, I would have got that out by the spring, but this is personal to me, and it's a lot of life lessons and experiences that I've gone through in life that will be out there. So spring of next year, and I'm saying May of next year, the book will be out, and the title, I probably have that by the end of this year. I say by the end of October, I probably have the title of the book out, so I can tell you all that, because I have to start that process now. Also, in the branding and the marketing of things. And this is not like a how-to book. I don't think I'm a Yonla or any type of self-help guru or anything like that. I just have a story of my own. I have experiences of my own, as we all do. And I think it's an experience that we all should do. Even if you don't feel the need to put out a book, journal, and you'll be surprised what comes out of yourself. Facebook has been that platform for me to be able to get out what I need to say, what I want to say, but I'm also the person that is super private, and I don't really I don't like telling my business because everybody ain't supposed to know your business. So definitely being able to journal and prepare for a book has been extremely stressful in terms of because some things that you thought you let go, you ain't really let it go. And some of the things that I thought I had like just took out my mind, like just going back, and everything wasn't like sad memories, but just things that are were near and dear to me, like really life-changing lessons that has happened to me. It was interesting trying to figure out how to write about it or what the outcome would be in writing about stuff like that. I tried therapy once. It didn't really, I don't think it was for me, or maybe it was just that therapist wasn't for me, but I like this method, you know, being an artist, an actor, a visual artist, expressing my pain or when I'm going through something creative has always worked best for me. Just talking about stuff isn't really as effective for me. You know, it has to manifest itself in something creative. So if you are an author, call in 410-702-5657. Share your experiences with me. If you're looking to be an author, you know, call in with your questions, and I'll definitely, if I can't answer them, I'll definitely reroute them to someone I know can answer them. So today is dedicated to authors. We won't have any more authors on for the especially for the Authors Expo, but we'll have a few of them on the day of, so next Saturday, and we'll definitely have a few on before we end out 2017. So if you're an author, my question was, I'm writing a book, and if you have any advice for me in terms of being a writer or so on and so forth, and your experience in writing, definitely call in 410-702-5657. We can now take phone calls or texts at 443-642-9403. Let me know your experiences as an author. Have you ever thought about writing a book? If you wrote a book, what would it be about? That has been the first couple months of this year. It was more so, what am I going to write about? And once I started jotting down like little ideas and journaling, I kind of navigated towards some stories, some experiences in my life. One of the biggest things that I think ever happened to me, it was losing both my grandmother and my great-grandmother. It didn't happen at the same time, but it was years apart. And my great-grandmother died in our home, and that kind of took me on I kind of closed in for a long time after that. Having anybody die in front of you is an ordeal, especially when that person is that close to you. And my great-grandmother was very close to me. I was very close to my great-grandmother, I'll say. And that was an experience in my life that kind of was a domino effect for a lot of other things in my life. And forced, I'm not gonna say forced, but I made decisions based on my grief over that happening that probably weren't the best decisions for myself. And that really spawned so many different life lessons for me. So that's definitely gonna be in the book. My grandmother's relationship and mine is very close. And then years later, I lost my grandmother due to violence. And that was kind of like, another hurdle. And just being a young black man in an inner city like Baltimore, trying to just navigate as an artist, as an individual, just as a person, as a man, as a black man, has been very difficult. And some of the people that I've been able to meet and share experiences with will definitely be a part of this story. And the last few months has just been about just organizing those thoughts and writing more and getting into a habit of being a writer, which wasn't always, I was a creative, I was hands-on. So I liked the classes in school where we got to touch and feel and make stuff. But writing was always a chore So this has been an exercise in me trying to learn how to express myself with just words. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Be Exposed Radio.
Definitely not taking responsibility for other people's emotions and things that's going on, and owning up to who you are. I know that's what you were finishing on. So you can speak more on that, sister.
Yeah, just making sure, because at the end of the day, what happens to us, especially women, we're nurturers. So by life, we tend to want to, I call men projects, like fix-me-uppers, people that come with issues. And for some reason, people, we all have issues, but people who want you to help them through their issues, So we take on projects because we get to the point to where we're like, okay, I just want to have somebody, as opposed to the quality of the person that you're getting. And then we start to own all of their issues, and we start to feel bad because things are not progressing the way that we want it to, and that's not fair to us. So we can't own somebody else's stuff. If somebody's not ready when you meet them, that's not your fault. That's theirs. It's their loss. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, what's up? It's the man you all know and love, E. Digger, the host of the Charm City Direct Radio Show. Make sure you catch me and my crew every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Join the club that gives you stuff. Hey, thanks! Radio Loyalty. Here's how it works. Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then, you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple, right? Radio Loyalty. Click that banner to join now.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K, check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up? This is Nate.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show.
Focus on the word take for a moment.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I mean, when I begin to just, think about take, when you taking something. Yes, we think about, the possession and grab and hold, but when you taking something on, you're capturing it, you're securing it, and you become impregnated with that.
Wow.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
you can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, here live on BeExposedRadio.com. In the building, we have live Mr. Michael Ryder. There we go. And Mr. Steve Yarn. They're doing a partnership based on, what was it again? The stories of the Vulcan Blazers. An awesome production that they have coming up. And now the name of it will be called Baltimore Heat. There we go. They were telling us a little bit about, they're in the pre-production phase of developing this Baltimore-based production. It seems like a really awesome idea. I always love for more artistic events to come here, and because it's more of an event, because you guys are going to actually use Baltimore as your complete backdrop of the city, and that's very awesome to hear.
Yeah, we want people to fall in love with this project through the visions and the tales we're going to tell about these firefighters, but also we want them to fall in love with the city of Baltimore. Just like they did with Miami Vice and Chicago Fire and NYPD Blue and
Sex in the City.
Sex in the City and all these other places that have the city as a star as much as the
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? And welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I am your host, Nate. I am here today bringing you another edition of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. In the last segment, I touched on a bit of what I'll be doing in the next, almost year now. What I've been doing for the last year and what I'll be doing until probably May. I'll be releasing a book. And my question to everybody is, this has been my outlet because I don't really have a lot of vices. I lost one of my biggest vices this year. I can't have cheeseburgers the way that I like them. So I'll be, so I have been writing more and doing more journaling, and that's been my go-to vice now, and not so much reflecting on what is now, but more of just planning and just looking back at the same time. And I've been doing more writing in that vein just to get myself in that space, and also writing towards a book. So my question to anybody out there is, what is your vice? Your creative vice? What do you do to de-stress and clear your mind, or just kind of jumpstart if you are creative, or even if you aren't? What are those things that you do to get yourself motivated, or how do you clean out and get ready and prepare yourself? You can call in 410-702-5657. In the news, a friend of mine, Mr. Joey Odoms, he was the singer for the Baltimore Ravens. He recently resigned due to all of, I'm not going to say because of it, but his heart. One, I'm going to say Joey was in the armed forces, one. So he is very patriotic. He really believes in his country, and he fought for it. And he's a young black man at the same time. So I'm sure he was very conflicted in terms of wanting to support his culture and wanting to support his country. But like a lot of people have been saying, the protest had nothing to do with he wrote an open letter on Facebook, and it said, Dear Ravens flock, I am resigning as the official national anthem singer of the Baltimore Ravens. He said, I am resigning as the official national anthem singer of the Baltimore Ravens. The people I've had the pleasure of meeting at the Ravens organizations have been nothing but nice to me. However, the tone, actions of a large number of NFL fans in the midst of our country's cultural crisis have convinced me that I do not belong there. Someone once told me to always go where you're welcome. This is not an emotional reaction to recent events, rather an ethical decision that part of me regrets, but my core knows it is the right choice. He goes on by saying, thank you so much. He says, my phone died. He said, thank you so much for the opportunity to grow as a performer, and for allowing me to live out a dream. I remember him coming on Tracy Jiggett's show, the Gangsta Goddess radio show, and talking about his journey from being a regular young man to a homeless teen, to just going around trying to find himself as a young black man. He then tried to take control of his life, and he entered into the armed services. And he then, from that, he met actually one of the owners of the Ravens, and he met him while in the service, and he told him he was a singer and a performer, and actually that's how he got to become the singer. Not so much, but the man connected him to the right people, and he then became the official singer for the Ravens. And it's crazy because I remember him being so excited about it. So having to then resign because of how he feels I know was a really hard decision for him because he's been the singer for a number of years now. And that is it was a big opportunity coming from where he came from and being who he is. And he's definitely a really talented young man. So I shout out to him in this moment. But he has gotten a lot of, it was noted on many of the local stations, the newspapers, as well as CNN. So I wish Joey Odoms all the love and success that he can handle right now. So that was my tidbit of cultural news today, but a lot of the stuff that we'll be talking about for the next couple weeks have to do with getting ready for the business of being an artist and really understanding where we are as artists, so on and so forth. But we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice Products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice Products today.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Do yourself a favor and listen to this hilarious flashback on Charm City Direct Radio Show.
You know me. I eat like this all the time. Do I gain any weight? No, at all. You can have my belly, right? I'm giving away body parts. Somebody said they need a butt. Somebody said they need a butt.
I can use a little extra tissue there.
I can pop it. Right now.
He out here giving out butt cheek donations.
Hey everybody, it's your girl, the magical glow getter herself, Anissa Maureen, co-host of the Charm City Direct Radio Show. Catch me and the rest of my team every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice Products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice Products today.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Hey, what's up, good people? It's the man you all know and love, E. Digger. Make sure you check us out every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Couple minutes left in the segment. Sure. Change is good. Yes. Knowing when to make that change in your life. And I think it's important that you know a strategy. You know where you need to go. But change is good. Everything don't stay the same.
Right.
And if you're a person, especially for old people, that can't accept change, then it's kind of hard. Right. I was going to a church. I'm gonna make this real brief. I was going to a church that could not, some older members. I attended the second oldest black Presbyterian.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Nate, host of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. We went from single Nate to group of people Nate. So we have Hollywood that's joined us.
Hey, how y'all doing out there?
This Friday voice, it get me every Friday. But joining us is TJ. Y'all know TJ.
Yep.
And Mr. Corey Coleman.
What's up? How's everybody doing?
He's joining us today. So today we just gonna have a regular talk. No stress, you know, no muss. It's a cool day outside. We'll start with how's everybody doing today?
Pretty good. It was a rough day.
Rough day?
Yeah, training at a new job, but
oh wow.
Yeah, but
what do you do?
Actually, I'm in the direct selling business, but I'm actually the guy behind helping the people who sell.
Okay, so the stress is off your shoulders.
Little bit, not really. These people get a little crazy because I deal with their money also. So, you know, things.
Payroll is definitely important.
Yeah, so if everything isn't right, then I'm the one that gets yelled at when their paper isn't right. So I gotta have everything in order.
So how do you go from? So that's basically like admin and finances. How do you go from that to being an artist?
I was an artist first.
You was an artist first.
Yeah.
So this is your benefactor gig right here.
Yeah, actually, I was taught this is supposed to support the grind.
See, this man, how you teaching this? What school did you go to, sir?
That wasn't school.
Right.
That was a very wealthy man that told me.
After the stuff that you were telling me about using your job as financing your
benefactor,
he just had that whole conversation with me, and it was just like I keep hearing the same conversation. Like that's what it is.
So at what point are you gonna believe it, sir?
I'm slowly believing it. I'm one of those people that's just like I hear what you say. I hear what you say, and then I slowly incorporate it into what I'm doing.
And is it? I mean, it really. Once you start looking at a job that way, and not I need this thing,
it slowly turns into a progressive effort towards.
You don't have no attitude
career.
anymore. Yeah. You don't have no like. I used to be mad at a job. Like I really would go in there with, and I'm not an attitude person. Like you be having people talk to you like what? Like I just was saying good morning to you, Mr. Nate. Okay, I'm sorry. Like,
that's that long time that they do that to you too. If you've been there for a while, you'll definitely develop that tolerance.
It's like 2 weeks on the job, I had an attitude.
Oh man,
because it's not what you want to do. Like I'm really passionate about being an artist, about being like an organizer of the art. So why not just play in your lane opposed to in somebody else's lane?
Sure.
And I've had regular jobs here and there, but it's nothing like focusing on yourself. And once you see you're in control, you're in the driver's seat, and not the person that signs your check, then that's all. Then you become more of a commodity then. Yeah,
the funny thing is, in what I do now, until like you know the grind becomes the main gig, is they actually that's one of their coaching talks to the people in the business. Is like you know you have to take control of what you do, and you have to have that confidence. And the funny thing is, Stevie Harvey just mentioned this in the morning, like this morning, about taking control of your passion and your grind and doing what you have to do, and not allowing.
He was saying he don't feel like anybody's ever been his boss.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's you really have to get into a mind state where if you're an artist, photographer, actor, actress, whatever you do, you have to get into that mind state that this has to become my grind. This has to become my real thing. That job has to be a temporary mind state.
And corporate jobs are starting to catch on to that.
Yeah.
And they're starting to really understand if I get my employees to follow this process, then they'll be more productive because then they'll have a reason to come here opposed to me just paying them every 2 weeks.
Right. That's what I did, like, as far as my acting career. Like, I love acting so much. I said, why not find a job actually into acting? Yeah. So I started doing behind the scenes work and started actually working side by side with a film company. So actually, my job from the film company. Congrats on that too. Is actually paying for my acting career. That's dope. So I kind of stay, like you said, stay in the lane. Now, actually, let me ask you a question. Now, did you have a moment before you made that decision where you realized, hold up, I'm not sure if I should do this, or I'm not sure if I should go to that step? Because that, I believe, when
it's a big step. It's a big step.
Every artist, every actor, everybody has that moment where you sit there and you say to yourself, dang, I don't know if I should do this. This could put me in a situation, but then you make that decision and go for it.
Yeah, I've been in that situation, but it was actually before I started acting.
Yeah.
I was teaching martial arts, and I was doing a show. I was getting prepared for a show, and actually I quit the day before because I was like, man,
everybody was better than me, and I was like, I don't gotta do this.
That'll be the day when we just quit. Just be like, I'm done. I'm
but
good.
But I stuck it up, and it actually helped out. So.
Yeah.
And for me, I noticed a lot of the friends that I have that are artists that I went to school with, we started with that attitude, because we were being trained to do what it is that we wanted to do. And it's a difference between just being an artist that is naturally in you. And I think that's why I always encourage people to go to school, because it's one of the, and not necessarily just to be an artist, but try school for the business side of it. Like, if you're not good at counting, go take those business classes or something, because it'll balance yourself. You'll be balanced out. But you have to really get that attitude as soon as possible, because the longer it takes you to get that, the longer it's going to take you to really put yourself all the way in your field.
It depends on the character. The character of most people are stubborn, and pride is a big part. I don't think people realize how much pride plays. I don't think people realize how much pride plays a role in preventing you from getting to that next step.
Right.
Like, pride will stop you. It will.
Fear stop you too.
Yeah, that's true.
We just had a conversation, and the thought of the fear of success.
Yeah.
As where I think a lot of people don't talk about that. I think the fear of failure is really like the main thing that everybody focuses on.
But that's easy. That's easy.
Yeah, but the fear that you do something and then right around the corner, everybody is demanding something from you.
Because then you have to maintain that goal.
Yeah.
And maintaining the goal is much harder than just saying, hey, I'm an actor. Because at some point, somebody could say, but what have you done? And you're like, well, or even if you are working, it's this, I know stage actors, and this is part of my issue. While you're doing the show, you are auditioning for the next show. Physically in rehearsals or doing the actual show, you're now looking for the next show.
Yeah.
So you're never really off. There's no off time when you are an entrepreneur.
That plays in the writing too.
It does.
Yeah,
well,
your first
right.
That book you write there is going to determine you need to. That's going to write your next book.
But I love what's her name? Scandal. What's the lady who wrote?
Shonda Rhimes.
Shonda Rhimes. She just did an interview, and one of her statements was that's being a writer is the only job that you ain't never got to be hired for.
Yeah,
it's the only job that you can never be fired from. Because even if this company doesn't want to hold you over as a writer, you can still be writing.
Yeah.
And it's I adapt that to any artistry really. Nobody has to hire you to be what you want to be, because you can always hire yourself.
I like that. Yeah.
And when she said that about being a writer, I was like, well, I'm gonna adapt that to being, all the artists that I come across, because we're in that phase of nobody's gonna hire me to be an actor. And when you least expect it, somebody's gonna hire you to be an actor. And I've gotten paid to be an actor for I'm gonna say about 14 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had my first experience where I got paid for rehearsals. And I was like, what? I am there. I didn't even read the script. I was there the first day, didn't even know what I had got myself into, because I was so excited to get to that point of being an actor. And that's not just a typical, but that's a level of professionalism that I hadn't gotten to yet. And just getting a check at the end of the process was like, okay, I'm good.
That's one of those moments I think for any artist it's hard to concentrate until you get to.
Oh, I was concentrating.
I'm just saying when you initially start, because you can think most people start their career or start their passion thinking, I want results. I want results. I want instant gratification right now. And if you don't get that, that's where that fear you were talking about starts coming from. Because now you start figuring out, well, where is this going to come from? And if I don't get it, then what situation am I in?
You get that mindset when you jump into something thinking about money.
That's always. That's 9 times out of 10. Most people are going to start with that goal until they realize better.
And I think that's a healthy thing, because you got to eat. You got to stay over here. Poverty don't look good on anybody, but it just you have to focus on what it is that you want. What is your goal? And when normally when I ask artists that question, what is your goal? They say, I want to take care of my mama. I want to buy a house. Those are those are reactions to your goal, to succeeding in your goal. But what is your goal? I want to do this thing. I want to be this thing. You know, I want to be comfortable. Well, those are things that come as a result of, you know, you reaching your goal. But what is the goal? You know, what is the, you know, do you want an Emmy? That's still a result of you obtaining your goal.
Hey.
So, you know,
but they say life and death is in the tongue. You gotta say it to claim it.
See?
Yeah.
See, so speak it, but understand what the goal is, and understand what the material.
Secret right there. That's the secret right there.
There you go.
You
so tell me a little bit about your artistry.
All right, so I started writing actually when I was 12 years old, and I actually created a poetry book. It was like 22 poems, poorly edited, but there was 22 poems I started writing, and then by the time I got like 17, I started observing people, and I wanted to like make a difference, I guess you could say, and I wanted to make a difference both in my own words though, and I wanted to kind of give my perception of what and how people are, the 5 W's. I wanted to know all that about people. So I observed people for about 3 to 4 years, and in about that 3rd or 4th year I wrote my first book, which was Mentally Challenged, Why Name Call. And this book was actually different from
Mentally Challenged,
Why Name Call.
Okay.
And this book, it was a book.
Look at it being deep.
Yeah, it's a self-help book. It's about using the process of self-reflection to better yourself as an individual. So it focuses on mental challenges being actual mental disabilities, and us with, you know, or individuals who do not have a mental disability actually being the ones with mental challenges, because the challenge is something that you can overcome. So I started with a goal of writing to be mentor and inspiration, and I didn't realize that you know, you need the audience. You got to find the audience first, and you got to build up, you got to build yourself up. And plus the publishing company I first started with was like horrible. Like that's another thing about writing that most people don't know about.
So we're gonna get into that part a little bit later,
but
that's the devious part of it.
Yeah, but after that I went into fantasy adventure because I really wanted to tell stories. I wanted to create. Like I feel like me in my mind, I'm a creator. That's what I am. I will create something. If you tell me what you want, you tell me what you need, you tell me like type of characters, I love to create that. I want to create stories. I want to create worlds. I want to create. It's the same thing. Like you want to be an actor, I want to be a director someday, and I want to create. That's what I want to do. So I created this world with my second book, which was Minutes to Go, and that really made me feel confident about my ability to create and be innovative. I felt like, you know, I could find a motive out of anything. I can look into this room can make a story for me, and I can take it down those steps into the street, and we be in New York by the time I'm done this book. But after that, I kept getting asked the question by a lot of people about my writing, and it was that my writing is very descriptive, which is the style that I went for. It's very uncommon in the literature world as far as format wise, but it was my style. So when I got to Trustworthy, which is the romance drama novel that I'm promoting now, a lot of people want me to write that because I'm descriptive, and you can only imagine where their mind, you can only imagine where their heads were at with that. Yeah. So that got me into writing that, and after I wrote it, I got some good feedback from it. And
so that's your second book.
That's the third one. Third one. And Deception is the book that's it's soon to come. It should come out by the end of October. If not, it's gonna be the 1st of November.
Okay.
First week in November. But I got some good feedback from it, and it really helped me discover that my style for being an author is detail. I love detail. I need to.
So you found a genre that best suits your writing style.
I found a genre that best suits a target audience. As far as my writing style, I would say I would prefer to be in the fantasy adventure, but you gotta follow the wave. If the wave is with romance, drama, or erotica, then you need to stay in that lane until you can get yourself to a point where you can get that audience, reach that audience, because it takes a lot of behind the scenes work to reach a certain audience. You really gotta get on Google and stuff.
But the issue that I have with those specific genres, just like the urban novel, that audience doesn't move. It stays there, and the authors kind of perpetuate that, but they're asking for that at the same time.
Yeah.
But I want to see a lot of those people, because I know it has gotten a lot of people to reading books, just like for actors, Tyler Perry and all those types of genres have gotten people to watch plays, live plays, but then that audience doesn't go anywhere beyond seeing that thing. But I want to see the authors begin to it could be slowly move them to a different direction and a different mindset, and not just to another platform like TV, film, or stage, or.
It's a risky move. It's a risky move. A lot
as
of
an artist, you have to grow.
I mean, no, I agree. It's just a risky move in the literature world. Like, a lot of publishers would find that hard to market, because now you're crossing genres, and that crowd, like you said, it would be nice, but that crowd doesn't mix well.
And that's and we'll get into the business more so, the publishing world, a little bit later, because that's a part of it that I'm kind of iffy with, because who is really setting the standards? The audience, the author, or the curator?
Okay.
Like, who does that, and whose job is it? So we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree
It's huge!
is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
What's going on this weekend? Nothing? It's too cold? Girl, I'm never going to go see this Selma movie. Gosh. It's sad. I don't like looking at people in old clothes. You know what I'm saying? Dressed in them styles. Those styles is played. And I definitely don't want to go see another movie where Oprah got her bags on display. The ones under her eyes. And I love me some Oprah, but goodness gracious, they always put her, strip her down with no makeup on, and them bags on her eyes be on display. Like, girl, let your worries go. Stop holding them down like that. Get some rest. She need a whole week of sleep.
The all-new season of Talk Lately, Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Even as a comedian, if I say a joke and it just might not fit your cup of tea, but it's mine, that's what a comedian is supposed to do.
But people forget
everybody's not going to find your jokes funny. They better find mine funny.
But they forget that, though. They really forget that. They forget that but it's your view. That's why they didn't fire her.
Yeah.
Because her viewpoint is controversial.
Her view. That's the view she sees.
Right.
Everybody is clear to her.
Like, they did their reaction to
cellophane.
They did the reaction to the Chris Rock Oscar, and they were talking about Stacey Dash, and I don't think she agrees with Stacey Dash, but she pointed her out as somebody who has an opinion that's just different from everybody else's.
Her opinion is just stupid, though. Stacey Dash she's like a Dash. Let's just move on.
I think she's intelligent, but her
You're still going.
opinion.
We're gonna move on. Stacey Dash doesn't need to be talked about. She's irrelevant.
You said her name like 3 times already. She's irrelevant.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Or agent will tell you have to have your own following, at least to some extent, before.
Well, that's the new world we're in, because everybody's independent now. Yeah. There's no more artist development going on. Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I'm your host, Nate. I have my co-host, Mr. Hollywood.
Hey, how y'all doing out there?
I can't. I'm not familiar. We have another one of our co-hosts. He co-hosts the second Saturday of every month here on the Artist Exchange. We got Mr. TJ Transvision I'm about to give it all up, Bates.
Nah, man. Make sure whenever you get a chance, make sure y'all check out artistvision.com.
There we go.
With a Z.
Did you hear that?
Envision.
.com.
Artistvision.com. A lot of visual artist features. Also, check it out on Instagram where I spotlight a couple different artists from around the world. And just to and also coming up within a month or two, as long as I collect artists. If you know any artists, if you're hearing this and you know any visual artists, tag them, let them know. I'm looking for at least, I have 10 spots for visual artists to do an online pop-up shop. So
is there a fee attached to this?
It's a $10 fee, but
is that monthly or
no? It's a month thing. I'm running a pop-up shop for a month for 10 artists. Pretty much to spotlight them, spotlight their merchandise, artist merchandise.
I know artists that would probably be interested in it. Definitely.
Just let them know.
What's the criteria?
Pretty much it's just going to be a collection of artists in one spot where links to their artwork to their purchase. A lot of artists don't have websites where they don't have stores where they don't sell their artwork. This is just another way for them to possibly do that, especially up and coming artists.
Right.
As well as I'm connecting with a few Instagram accounts that have over 300,000 followers, so that will be posted on that account, so you can get viewership too. Also, and during the whole month, I will be marketing your artwork.
There we go. Is it one form of art that you're looking for, or
no?
Is it just across the board?
Whatever you got. If visual arts, earrings, clothing, all merchandise. Yeah.
I got $10.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I'm as being an artist and seeing all the avenues, a lot of avenues, but not really seeing a lot of avenues that's available for artists to show their work and sell their work. I want to create that avenue while I'm going in artistry. So I'm on my own art, but then I'm also looking out for other artists along the way.
Okay, businessman.
Hey.
So what can we look for this month on your interview?
Oh man, I was still collecting some artists. Will Morris would be one. I met him at Artscape. He was a cool artist, just walking around with a sketchbook, showing people his artwork. I'm trying.
Like the paint. Did he had the paintings with him?
Yeah, he had his little sketchbook with him, just showing him like.
I think I remember.
That's that, and then I'm trying to get. I guess on Instagram it's DSD Painting.
Okay.
He does a lot of what you would call it, abstract art. He's currently in a Loft Hotel.
Okay.
In Arundel Mills by BWI. Yeah, showing. Has a huge following. I guarantee you, if you're on Instagram, you probably seen this picture. He's sitting down in a chair with a big African art piece, holding it. I'm trying to get him. And who's the third person? And I have an artist I met at Art All Night in DC last weekend. Unique Dominica. She's coming up. She does graphic design paintings, but she does it on canvas, and then she adds a 3D feel to it with like material.
That's what's up. That's what's up. He been working with twins. Like he's doing it.
I mean, that's
the you sleeping?
I'm sleeping better now. I mean, that's just. I mean,
about 3 months.
The whole having kids and taking care of that and trying to handle your business, it really puts you on your business, because now you don't have the opportunity to fail. Like you can't waste your time. Nope. But then it's just, we were just feeding my Orion. We were just feeding him like kind of like solid food with cereal. And that was like his first time, and he was just like going through it. It's just like every day is a new moment. Like I can't explain it. I can't really explain it.
Because you just
every moment is a different moment. You don't know what you about to get.
He's delirious right now. He doesn't know what he's saying.
What's next?
He can't look left or right. So
wait till they start talking.
Nah, man.
It's pretty taking pictures now, but yeah, wait till they start talking.
Nah, man.
Can they go through your phone?
I'm just waiting for them to start running because it's 2 of them, and I'm like,
that's crazy. Did y'all hear that? Toys R Us going out of business or something? Bankruptcy?
They bankrupt?
Yes, they should. Nobody needs a whole store of toys.
I mean, it's technology. It's
Amazon.
It's taking away kids. It's taking
no more Toys R Us kids.
No more label.
That's why I was a friend of mine. Like when I post, I write everything down. Like I don't like abbreviating or nothing. She was like, people not gonna read all of that, Nate. I said, that's a problem. Like I'm giving you all the information.
Yeah.
And it's your choice whether you read it or not. but don't tell me that it's too many words.
Most people might do a quick skim.
Right.
Quick skim. They might.
They starting to read emojis. Like,
right.
emojis.
They looking for numbers, dates, how to contact, price, and that's it. But if you read what's there, you have no questions for me. Like, maybe if I misspelled a word, but you should have no questions. But people aren't even reading anymore. Libraries, Pratt Library is going through a big overhaul too, because nobody's reading, taking out books. So they're talking about condensing their collection to like Kindles.
I like to help change that.
So
I would like to help change that.
What would you like to change?
I would like get
no more
books. Get people reading. I mean, I'm talking about I would like to help change the fact that people aren't reading.
I would hit them up.
Yeah,
hit them up. Start your initiative. Because it's definitely I like the city paper is closing down. Like I like to look. You can skim through this. But then there's alerts coming up. So are you really reading the articles? Because now somebody sent you a notification about the D challenge or something. So
put it on.
But so tell me a little bit more about where you want to go as an artist, Corey.
All right. So my first goal is to achieve the rank of best-selling author.
Okay.
That's the first one. The second one is that I would like to create my own class for anybody aspiring to be an author or just aspiring to get into any career, and being able to have people come through that are professionals in that field and talk to anybody or give some insight that they can spare freely, because I know nothing is free, and most people want to be paid for the information that they have. After that, I would definitely like to somehow find my way onto a TV writing cast. I just not sure right now if I want it to be my own or if I want to work alongside people, because I definitely would like to throw my creativity in somebody's mix and see what happens, but I also have my own creativity, and I wouldn't mind pulling a Donald Glover, and just throwing my Atlanta out there. But at the same token, he also was a part. What was that show? I forgot that show. What show was he on?
Oh damn! What?
Yeah,
I remember what you're talking about.
When they were in school, they was in college.
It was in college.
Like
but you know what I'm saying? Like, but he wrote,
I think it was called Community.
He wrote on that show too, so you know what I'm saying? Like how he put his creativity into something else, and he still was able to see part of his work. That's definitely one of my main goals too.
I would say for that, there are plenty of movies coming out. There are plenty of people who want to do movies, who are already writing books. Find different avenues. Like if you want to be a director, take acting classes, because then you're learning the crazy that are actors, but then you're learning what it takes.
Right.
It's in terms of you can visually see your words moving.
Get educated.
Right.
Yeah,
so learn the opposite of what it is that your goal is, or the things that make up your goal. So in terms of being a director, depending on whether you want to do film, television, or theater, there's a different type of space that you have to be in.
Right.
But it's really actors are the core of all of that. Or try to be assistant director or a stage manager or whatever, because then you learn the aspects of the things that are around what you actually want to be. And that makes you wiser, because then you pick the right actors. You're not picking people because they say they're an actor. You're an actor, but you ain't never heard them do anything. So you just picking people because they say they can do this, versus you've already had that job and you know what it takes. So,
touche.
That's my best advice. That's one of the things that I spent my 20s doing, just doing everything that it was to be an artist. I did every little job literally every little job, and I know what I want to do now, and I know what I don't want to do, but I know what I could do to be able to do what I really want to do.
And it was that education that got you.
Right. Like, I mean, I was in college, but I was in a community theater, also was in a theater group, so I know what I want to do, based on what I don't want to do, and I've experienced everything. Like, I'm not a person that can push a button. That's not me. I don't want to do that. That's not really mine.
What's your best advice to somebody who wants to get into acting?
Act. Right. The same. You want to be a writer? Right.
That's what I would tell people. I tell people all the
It's
time.
just that simple. People be thinking it's a big, like, oh my God, what do I do? Do I study this? No, if you just act.
Don't hold it back. Because if you hold it back, you're just going to short yourself out.
Learn to be humble, and as you go after what you want. Because people nowadays, because everybody is so independent, everybody has to already be what they say they are.
That's true.
So a lot of people are faking it. So actually learn what it is that you want to do. Like, learn it. Like, don't be afraid.
That's. I'm glad you said that, because that's actually one of the core factors that I focus on in that free book I was telling you about. Is research. Research whatever you're trying to do. I don't care if you're trying to play the piano for the rest of your life.
Right.
Research. Like, look into what you're trying to do. So I'm happy that you shared what you just shared, because I feel like, for people who can reach two different audiences or reach a similar audience, as far as actors and writers, and they all share some similarities. Like, that's the key component that people kind of miss when they rise up, is you have to research. You have to get into books. You have to get into the articles. You have to meet people. You have to network and bring up that question that some people don't want to ask. How did you get there?
If you're afraid, if you're like right now, I know you said one of your goals is to be a director, but you definitely are a writer. Go to an acting class and tell them that you're a writer. You gonna have about 12 new friends like that. Because if that's what you do, you're looking for the next great thing or the next most interesting thing for yourself to do. That opens you up to all these people that you don't have to then do a casting call for. So you can pinpoint, that person a diva, that person is, and just put yourself in spaces, not just networking events, not just online, but actually go to these places where your people are. You're not going to really hang out with a bunch of directors, because then you competing with them, but you're still learning from them. So that's one place that you go, but hang out with other writers, other directors, other publishers, because then you're learning constantly. But if you want to be an actor, go get in a play or take a class, because sometimes everybody who wants to do something, they're not good at it.
Right.
But taking a class will show you, do I really have the aptitude to do this? Because a lot of people go in with egos, and I'm not doing that. Well, you're not going to be an actor, because you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do sometimes.
They normally say when you feel uncomfortable, you're doing good.
Yeah. Or you in the wrong place.
Like acting, sometimes you're like,
well, how you look at it. Some people do that because there's more nervousness, but like, you just gotta put yourself out there. And it may be, you may say, I don't ever want to do this. Like, this ain't what I'm going to stick to writing, because this ain't my world. I never know people's names. She wrote How Stella Got Her Groove Back and Wait and Exhale. She clearly says, I am just a writer. I'll work with you as you adapt my work to movies or television, but I'm a writer. I don't want to do all those things.
Right.
And because she's seen the grind and I think Waiting to Exhale and stuff, so she's seen her work get created in other platforms, and she just says, I just want to be a writer. I didn't want to do any of those other things, so I'm gonna stick to this. If you want my work to be adapted, you pay me for it, and then you go do that. But I mean, you learn along the way what your attitude is and what you're willing to do and what you don't want to do.
I agree.
What are some of the things you both of you have learned about yourself in pursuing your artistry and your craft? Not the business side, but just more of the artist side.
I have a beautiful, ugly mind sometimes.
Okay, Corey. Yeah. Okay, honesty, transparency.
Yeah. Sometimes it's really beautiful. Sometimes it's really ugly. Sometimes I look at myself when I write, and I'm like, that was good, Corey. That was pretty damn good.
When you say ugly, you mean like you didn't know that your mind could go there, or? You can be honest.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say I didn't know my mind. I wouldn't say I didn't know my mind could go there. I would just say some of the things that I thought of to express some of my writing. It was like.
You mean like word choices or just?
Nah, like scenario, scenes, stuff like
that. It's in you. That means it's in you, sir.
Yeah.
You just admitted it.
I mean, I'm cool. I'm confident in myself. I'm cool. I know who I am. But like, just surprised me just when I write, because everything that I've written isn't published yet. So some of the things that I have written, it was like, you went there.
I mean, are you finding yourself? I mean, we're not saying everything that you write about is you, but are you finding yourself or getting more comfortable with who you are, separate from everything else, in being a writer?
I would say yes. I would say yes. I would say a large part of writing has helped me become way more developed in understanding some of the choices that I make and some of the decisions.
For example?
Well, reading Trustworthy over again, I just was like, wow, like, you know, men really do this. Like, we really carry things like this. And then I read over because I wrote 2 parts of the book. So one side's a perspective from a man, the other side's a perspective from a woman. And from speaking for a woman, I had to do my research, and hearing women talk about, you know, how their experiences with men in certain ways, I just had to sit there and think about, like, dang, you made those choices, you've done those things, you've made that mistake. And
what is your research like? Is it just, are you, like, for me, and like me writing my first book now is turning into, I write really, you know, people think it's in your windows, but it's just me seeing what people are going to say or seeing what responses are.
No, you gotta get in people's faces about it. Sometimes you start a common conversation at like a public event, or sometimes you pull up somebody close to you, or sometimes you pull up somebody completely random and you just say, hey, you know, what are your thoughts on this? Or if you was in this situation, you know, the what ifs. What if you was in this situation? How would you act? What would you do? Or what was your history with this situation? And 9 times if you ask the right question to a person,
hey, how you doing?
They'll give you their history. They'll start telling you their bad relationship. They'll start telling you their bad experience or that most traumatizing moment that they've had just by asking a certain question.
Hey, caller, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, guys? How you doing?
How's it going? Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, good. Hey, I'm a long-time listener of you guys. Been watching for quite some time now, and you know, how's it going, man?
We doing good. What's your name?
Good. Hey, I had a question for you guys. Now, and I know that you guys, you know, you cover a whole lot of topics, and you guys, you know, are pretty intellectual for the most part. And so I had a question, and it's going to sound strange, but here we go. Now, Black Lives Matter. They have been, you know, saying that, you know, the white man does this, the white man does that. Now, I want to ask you guys, have you ever considered the idea that it isn't white people that black people, you know, have to worry about, but it's actually the Jewish people that have been the problem in the black people communities, because the Jews are the ones that create the rap music, the Jews are the ones that started slavery, etc., etc. Now, the Jews look white, they pretend they're white, but at the end of the day, they're not white. What do you guys think about that?
I would ask you, what is your question? Because I don't think a lot about that. So what is your question? Do you have another question?
Well, it's an interesting question.
So if you want to call into the Artist Exchange Radio Show, do so. 410-702-5657. Or you can text us at 443-642-9403. We have 2 artists right in front of us today. We got Mr. TJ Transvision Bates. If you want to catch this man, catch him on Transvision. It's artistvision.com. And then we have Corey. Do I just put out the whole government? D.
Yes,
Coleman?
You got to include the D, man.
Right.
Like,
so
that's for the ladies, right?
Wow. We are here talking to this gentleman, Corey, and he's an author. And before you all got here, I was talking about my journey in writing. And for me, writing, because writing isn't at my forefront. I know how to write a letter. I know how to write a term paper, but creative writing can be difficult, especially when you're coming from a personal place. In terms of your writing, how personal do you get?
There is a line drawn. Sometimes I like to exaggerate the reality. Sometimes I don't even involve it at all. It depends on what the scenario is in the situation. It depends on what the topic is and where the direction of the plot is going. If the story is moving to a scene where, you know, you have your protagonist acting, behaving in a certain way, then if I can relate to that behavior, I'll involve some of my experience with it. If not, then I just leave it out and I make it up from scratch.
Is it? Will you ever get to a place or write a book or do a project that's about your personal experience?
Well, no, because at the end of the day, I think the biggest misconception that most people have about writing is that it's about you. It's about what people can relate to. So if you've gone through something that people can relate to when you're writing about yourself, then yes, you're gonna have a pretty good book. But if you're writing a book just because you think that everybody wants to know about your life, it's a different story. Because most people have that misconception about writing, thinking that I'm going to tell everybody about everything I did, and it's like your story becomes more of this is what I've gone through, but a story that's spoken out of experience, out of passion, pain, things that you've been through. People will read that and they'll be like, damn, I've been there. I've been through that. One of my favorite, I wouldn't necessarily call this a writing prompt, but a writing technique that I learned was this class that I took years ago, and he would simply get on the subway or any type of transportation and just ride it from one end to another end, and he would just jot down conversations that he heard, and then he would take those conversations and just dissect them and take lines and from this person and this person. He was more of a playwright than he was just a novelist, but he then began to write from that experience. How, I know you do a lot of research in what you're writing, but how much of what's around you finds its way into your book directly or indirectly? Everything. I mean, it's down to the smallest detail. If I walk past a trash can that has a word on it that I like, I'm gonna include that trash can. And that goes into how detailed I am. Like everything's included. If I walk past a window with the letter B in it, then I'll write that, she passed the window with the letter B in it. And I bring everything that I can that I feel will create some type of, I don't want to say a mind game for the readers, but something for readers to jump back at. Like if I throw something in there, like visually see it, but something that I can put in there, like let's say I describe your shirt in chapter 2, and then I describe your cardigan in chapter 7, but I describe that shirt under your cardigan in chapter 7, and then you can use that to look back and say, hold up, wait, maybe that person was that person because he had on the same shirt, but he just had on a cardigan. Stuff like that creates that type of suspense and chemistry with writing. So I take everything I can, and those help. Your friends like skimming your books, like, where am I in this book? Or you want to know the honest? You want to know the honest truth? None of my friends, but a lot of female girlfriends have gone through the book. Yeah, they've gone through the book, and I've had a few people ask me. I mean, I had a few people tell me that they read the book as if it was me telling the story about me, and I'm trying to tell people it's not about me. I've used. Well, you gonna get that charge. Yeah. Anyway, everybody thinks every piece of anything you write or sing or perform is about directly you. Yeah, it's like, no, man. Like this, some of the best forms of art is that you have found a way to express what people go through and make it believable, but also it'd be relative. That's one of the connections. Is that so? I'll curve the conversation again. What's on your bookshelf? What are you reading nowadays? Since I'm writing, I'm not reading. The only book I have dabbled in that, I just told TJ about this book, and this book has nothing to do with my genre that I'm writing right now, but it's a book about self-help, and it's called The Power of Attitude by Mac Anderson. You have to check that book out. It's an incredible book. But right now, when I'm writing like fantasy fiction, I'm writing like a fiction period. I try not to read. So why do you? I know most people don't do it because they don't want to start merging creativity. Is that your purpose, or you will? I know you heard the phrase "great steal from the greats." Like once you get the ball rolling, you'll subconsciously put something in there, and that's where in the revision stage you'll realize, like, damn, that kind of sounds a little familiar. But it can happen. It will happen if you don't monitor it, or if you don't find a disciplinary stage with your writing. Because that's what happened to me. Well, that's what happens to me. If I start reading a book. So you're writing right now for the purpose of your book? I'm writing right now for the purpose of my book and for its own uniqueness. Because actually, Minutes to Go, the book I read before Minutes to Go, or during Minutes to Go, was Beautiful Creatures. And I actually read over that book in the revision stage and realized that I kind of grooved into that writer style, and it was less my style, and I was like, oh dang.
So this is a question that a lot of my actor friends and director friends, so I'm an actor director, and one of the things that happened to me when I go watch a movie, I have to see that movie at least 3 times. Yeah. And I normally don't get to enjoy the movie until it's like out on DVD or on Netflix or something. Yeah. Because when I've gone to see it in a movie theater, I'm looking for consistency. Like, was that hat there and now it's not there, but it's the same scene, so why isn't it? Like, I look for that continuity and directing and lights. And when you read a book, is that where your mind is going? Like, this is horrible writing. This period shouldn't be here. There should be a comma. Like, are you reading for critiquing, or
I read to enjoy the imagery. Like, if you created an image for me to, what's her name? Kathleen Springler. She wrote a book, Touched by Darkness. Like, I enjoyed that book so much just because I could see what was going on. I could feel what was going on. I've read many books that I've missed, actually, some mistakes because I was so into the story. Like, I just read past it. But when I've gone back and read, same thing with movies too. I've watched movies where I went back and I'm like, oh, come on, dog, that was a blooper.
Right. Some people, like, for me, I see it first. That's what my eyes, and I try not to do it because I'm spending my money to critique something. Yeah. But I try not to do that. But sometimes it naturally happens.
It's nothing wrong with that though, because at the end of the day, sometimes you can be a perfectionist all you want to, but sometimes it is that some of the best movies you watch have had scenes that if you look back over, you can be like, that wasn't even real. Like, that didn't even make sense. But it was some of the best. It's the movie that sold the most in the box office. Right. It's the books that sold the most. Not to downplay 50 Shades of Grey, but like, a lot of people think 50 Shades of Grey was written poorly. But it just wasn't real. But they enjoyed the hell out of it though. Yeah. So what you complaining? Like, enjoy the book. That's what it's for.
And that's the crazy part, because in reading the book, they tried to be detailed for me, but it just didn't. Yeah. Maybe because I know they was just like touching the subject. It wasn't really like really going into it, but
it was a dibble and dabble.
Yeah. Are there any books that you wish you like, damn, I could have did that so much better, or I wish I would have thought about that?
My own or anyone else's?
Anybody else's.
Anybody else's? I can't even think of the name. It's a book I picked up off of like in the dollar store they be having like little book stuff. It's a book I picked up off of the dollar store, and it had a nice little title to it, and it started off really great, but the ending was freaking horrible. Like, the ending was like sad. It was like really, and I'm not talking about sad like the emotion sad. I'm talking about, it was like you didn't
put everything to the first couple chapters.
You did not try to end this book at all. Like, you got right.
Well, it's in the dollar store, so
I found some good books in the dollar store. But that one just wasn't it. Like, that one I just was like, I just want to write the ending over.
What was it about?
It was about the guy had a wife who cheated on him with his brother, and they had a kid, and they died, and he tried to raise the kid that they had. Going on. Yeah, it's like, but the story focused on the kid, and it was like, what the hell you talking about the whole front part for? Like, the father, I thought the father was going to be the protagonist, and he ended up, the book went off about the kid, and it was like, what the hell is this? Like, no, you can't just leave that guy out of it. Like, he disappeared into the story somewhere. Like, and it was about the kid, and it was like,
how do you keep your like writing spicy? How do you keep it? Oh, we gotta go to a break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com.
What you mean by spicy?
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop King, check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty when he rants about his staff.
I agree. Can you come on? I told you stop touching that button. Why is it so loud? God. Did you turn one all the way up again? Do I have to come in there? God damn her.
If it was going right, I would let you do your part. But I'm sorry, but it's just not functioning the way it's supposed to be.
You're live on the air.
I told you mind your business.
Well, Monty, if I can comment on the Jennifer Holiday situation, I know I'm live on the air. I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay. I know I'm live on the air. This is why this whole show is called Talk Lately.
Anyway, let's get back to every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, welcome to the Charm City Direct Radio Show. This is your girl, the magical Anissa Marie.
You start? Oh,
yeah. What's good, everybody? It's the man you all know and love, E. Digger.
We got a guest host here hanging out with us.
Just stopping by because I didn't get the guest host the last time because I was your engineer.
Right.
But you did it. You was awesome that day.
I did the best I could. I was a little nervous in the beginning. You know, it really benefits to have a production.
Somebody to talk to.
Yeah, that too. Yes. Because I was real lonely up in here.
But you did a good job. You did a really good job.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it was really felt the spirit of E and everybody.
And you had a good guest.
What's going on?
That was
yes.
a good guest.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is a good thing that you have somebody who can actually engage a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's nothing worse than talking to somebody you gotta try to figure out what you're gonna say.
Like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
I've been there. Is he good?
I don't know.
He just having that type
the earphones are connected to the chair.
See, that's my fault, because that was my show today. Sorry about that, sir.
Alright.
So you gonna hang out right there today?
Yeah, until I get the Alright. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright.
E Digger!
What's good, everybody?
You taking flight?
Down? Over here? I can't.
How about right here?
Oh, okay.
He didn't want to sit next to me. It's cool. Oh, wait, this is about to be connected.
Shout out to E the engineer.
Oh my God.
So what we gonna talk about today? Who's on the show? Thank you.
We got rap artists, hip hop music artists, DBL.
Okay.
I can't hear myself.
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
A little bit, yeah.
Turn it up.
Down by Law is in the building. Will be in the building.
Yeah, I can't hear.
They look like I thought it was the Wu-Tang Clan. I ain't even gonna lie. Got 4 of them.
Yeah, everybody was tagging each other on the flyer, and it appeared to be like a Wu-Tang situation. So I said, it's going to be a lot of people in here, and
he was nervous.
Yeah, might break into a fight. They had to run out for a minute. Okay.
It's like so much
He's on there.
happening.
So yeah, so they're going to be coming on the show momentarily.
And their musical is going to be exclusively played. You can check it out on the Be Exposed website.
The Charm City Direct
Charm City Direct Radio Show on Facebook.
Yeah.
And what else we'll be talking about? Kylie Jenner.
Yes. Growing up too fast.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, literally. Bang, bang.
Need to slow her fast ass down.
She's trying to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
That's how our grandparents did it.
What I say? She was hot in the anus part. Yes, very hot.
If she did it there, if she did it there, she wouldn't have that problem.
The whole anus part.
The whole.
Well,
no.
What they call it? The keef. The keef. Is that what it's called?
Huh?
The keef. What's that little area right there?
The anus.
No, it's called the Queef or Keef or something like that. I'll look it up. Queef.
Queef.
Yeah,
Queef. Yeah, Queef.
The queef
her
part.
Queef region.
Yeah, the Queef region. I like that. I like that. The Queef region.
Anus just sounds so.
Also, we're going to be talking about the the Kanika Jenkins murder. It's so much is going on with that, and we just want to know what really happened. Like when it all came out, the young lady who did the video, they were trying to say that she set her up. Then they showed another video of her partying, just partying.
Yeah.
Then there's another video that she is like so drunk.
Kanika Jenkins, yes.
That she is so drunk that she was walking around in the hotel basement area around the freezers. So we don't know what happened. Like she just got overly drunk and stumbled in the freezer. Moms don't seem to know.
Yeah.
And that's like real scary. So it's an actual mystery to know what actually went on.
And nobody's saying anything.
And that's the thing. Nobody's really
saying anything, and nobody is like with any real answers as to what happened to her. I mean, the rumors are we went from being raped to.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
But welcome back. Welcome back. We're back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. Anything is can happen. This is the internet. Anything is possible.
Wow.
So we're here with Mr. TJ Transvision, aka ArtistVision.com Bates, and he has with him Mr. Corey D. Coleman, author, writer, so on and so forth. In the building. So what we haven't talked about, and I want all of us to talk about this, and this has been something that I just did a workshop on this, financing your artistry, or the business of being an artist. That's the title of it. Where do you, either of you can jump in right now, were you afraid of the business side?
No.
You wasn't afraid of it?
Nah.
So how did you go about establishing yourself as a business, as a brand?
I failed first.
You failed.
Yeah, like you have to make the wrong steps before you make the right ones. And I jumped out there with if we got a second. Well, so my first publishing company was Author Solutions, and Author Solutions.
Well, we giving names.
It was. Listen, they gonna get it all. All right, they sent me a royalty check for $1. Like,
I would have came back and slapped.
Like, yeah, they sent me a royalty check for $1.
Like, where did this come from? Where could this have possibly come from?
Right, come on, man, $1. You gonna tell me this book is out on the market for $13.99 and I got $1? Like, book is stamped somewhere. Right. So, yeah. Anyway, that company they published my book first, and then for 2 years, they would send 2 royalty checks, and I would call in. The only person I would talk to would ask me if I wanted to order my books.
Now, what were you doing while this was happening? During this 2-year process, how much marketing, branding, promotion, all that were you doing?
1, not enough. 2, the wrong audience.
my first audience for my first book started in the church, and it was like, yeah, that wasn't my audience. I didn't know about finding an audience. I didn't know about a target audience. I didn't know about finding the people that want to read my book. I didn't know about advertising a book titled Mentally Challenged to the audience closely related to that, which would be those with mental disabilities or people in professions in that field. And I didn't know about that. I'm just thinking, oh, I'm 20 years old, I wrote a book, I'm about to get this money. Now now that didn't happen, but well, it happened, but it didn't, that blowing money fast happened too. But most of my sales came from like in person, and I did end up getting one royalty check that was like, it was pretty handsome, but it wasn't.
And I asked that question because, one, I've spoken to a lot of publishers, and one of the misconceptions is if I'm with a publishing company, whether it's Weston House or Random House or any house, you have to still work as hard.
You have to bust your ass,
because that's why a lot of authors are doing these book signings and they're traveling around, because they need to sell those books in that moment, because that's where a lot of their money come from in the beginning.
Yeah, well, if I can piggyback off of that, I would say that the most misconception that most authors are gonna have off the back is that I need to sell my book. No, you need to expose your book.
Yep.
That's the main thing you need to do, is expose your book. Your book's gonna sell when people know about it, because your audience is gonna find it, and it only takes one person to read it and say, hey, that was good, and they're gonna tell the next person. I mean, your moment's coming. You just gotta find that exposure.
Right.
Don't chase
the idea of a specific audience, that's very important, but because now the internet is what it is, you can still do that, but a targeted audience was pre-internet, where you had to make sure you were directing to people who could see this. Because now is the internet, you never know who's going to see or be watching something that you may not even know, because it may be directing it towards the professions, but what if, it's a parent who thinks that their child has it, so now parents or under this certain age,
that's the exposure part you gotta think about. So once you get that exposure, if you understand one thing about the market, is you understand trends. Trends are not, they don't just come out of nowhere, they're created, okay? Like the same thing people, what's one thing you see right now that's trending? Ripped jeans. Like, it was not trending just a year ago. It's trending now, and it's trending heavy. But that was a plan, and someone did it, and it happened. Same thing with marketing your book or marketing yourself. You have to get that exposure, and when people start realizing, the same thing happened with my book. My first book, everybody, oh, you wrote a book? I know you wrote a book. I know you wrote a book. And then it was familiarized people, and then after that it branched off and it was new people, and people like, hey, I heard you wrote a book. Okay, yeah, I did, thank you. I was getting a little small fame from the idea that I wrote a book, because everybody associates writing book with he must be rich, and it's not true. No, it's a lot of broke authors.
Because I need you to buy this.
Right, exactly. So that exposure is really what pulls those people you're talking about, the ones that are on the outside with social media right now, the ones that are gonna see people talking about this book and they don't even read. They're gonna be like, I gotta read this book now because everybody's reading it.
And learning what marketing is beyond just the right colors and the right cover. It's really you getting yourself out there. A lot of the same mistakes, specifically with artists and authors, to be more specific, that I've noticed, that they think those things matter. They do. Your cover matters, especially if your name on your cover. All those little things matter. But you getting out there physically touching and talking to people really matters. If you want your book to you
gotta be passing these out, man.
Okay,
you gotta be sending them.
Right. But if you want your book to go further than the DMV, you need to go further physically from the DMV. Like, it's not, that's just what's gonna happen. Like, the people you can physically touch will be your first line of defense, and then as you travel and you move around and you talk to more people, then it'll spread more. But that's one of the biggest misconceptions on the side of visual art, sir. Because I met him a minute ago, and watching him now, like, talk about his work is so much different than before. because he's now working instead of just creating. So tell me about the business, sir.
The business. I mean, the business. It's like a metaphor. Like the businesses are businesses across the board. I think the networking is the utmost key about everything, and like what you touched on with just the name and the cover and stuff like that. Like things, I think when you don't really know the business, are the things that you think matter the most. And I think with the business and with creating, it's like my artwork cool to me initially thinking when I see artwork is like, that's the thing. That's what matters. I need dope artwork. Not realizing that I'm only seeing this dope artwork because these people have put the time and effort into being the one person that somebody is showing. As the way like music. Like they get all the spins on the radio because they are either paying payola or really it's a hot record. Like Cardi B is #1 because she got to a point where everybody wants her to be #1, and they put it out there like she needs to be #1. So it's just kind of like learning that business aspect and networking with the people,
finding who you are.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it may be something outside of your legitimacy realm. I'm not doing that to get to
I mean, like artwork, I think you got so many different types of artwork. Certain people do different types of things. Like if you're doing portraits, a lot of people, networking market for that is getting it to the people that you're making portraits of, and they're famous and they can get you on. As a way, you don't really see that happening with abstract art. You don't really see that happening with other types of art. Like you don't really see people posing or famous people posing with paintings that are not of them. Like Mayweather just brought some lady's abstract artwork, abstract pop art made of glass for her. It was of Mayweather and McGregor. It was their like their banner, and like Mayweather brought it and put it in his like mansion and shit. Like these like they're like 6 feet, like 7 feet tall. Like just something like that. You don't really see famous people latching on to abstract art or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's usually it's some artwork that's made for them. So it's just kind of like the networking and like Corey said, and what he really, as just being a friend of him and really learning about the research process of seeing him go through the book process. Because I think I met Corey like after his first book. So just seeing the growth that he made, and with Minty's Challenge, reading that one, and then that kind of helped me get into my own groove with artwork. It's just like just understanding the research aspect of it, the networking, the research aspect of it, and really realizing like you have to go out here, you have to, like you said, be physical, you have to touch these people, you have to really create your audience for people to check for you, and really to sell your artwork. And selling artwork, I mean, it goes either way. You have good days, you have bad days. We sold, I connected with China. We did a collab Cheech and Chong piece, and she had the flashing lights on it and put it in the shadow box and everything. And you had Henny from Baltimore buy the piece, and I made my profit off of that. And it's just like,
but you have to find ways to like I heard what Corey was saying. Now he wants to either teach a class. He has this book, this instructional book. You have to find different ways to do what it is that you do. You know, and it's not always I'm gonna go to a school and teach this to children, but you may be teaching adults, or you may be training somebody who's doing just that to do what it is. So you got to find different ways to do it, because the artwork won't always sell. You have to always prepare yourself, so you have plenty of stories, you have plenty of paintings, so you always prepared to go to an event or for somebody to have something to choose from. But you have to find different ways to get to your same goal.
And I think that was
right.
Sometimes the image sells faster. So
the image,
yeah. So like, if you are an artist, you know, sometimes the image of you will sell faster than your art, but your art will sell because of your image. So you put yourself out there. Like, I think that's one of the things. That's one of the tricks in the business that it's really, like you said, you get to the same goal. So you may not, you may want to put your art out there and hide your face, but your face might be the only thing that's gonna get your art out there. So you've been spending so much time standing behind your painting, and you should have been standing with it.
And that's a conversation that I think I've had with TJ, and we've talked about, and I've talked about with other artists. A lot of visual artists, authors, they sit behind their desk or they sit behind in their studio and they create. And they don't really want to touch other people because they're focused on what they do. And you have to have a healthier balance of that. I'm an actor who I don't like to go out into the audience after the show. I like to go out the back door and go home and go to sleep. And a lot of actors, you know, a lot of people who I was in shows like, you gotta go out there because that's how you will get your next job. And I noticed being out there, I don't always have to go, but I'll spend a couple minutes going out there talking to people. And then those are the same people that randomly will stop me somewhere. It's like, you was in that show, like, and I then remember them stopping me after the show. But you have to get out there and show your face. Anytime you vend or you're at a workshop or at a convention, find somebody to run your table so you can get out and talk to people opposed to.
And sometimes that's kind of like the crazy thing that when I really think about people going to events and vending, it's like when we was just down in DC and my homeboy Carlton was out there, and it's just like I had the freedom. I went down and helped him, but I had the freedom to walk around and see things and talk to other and actually go into the art gallery across the street and just seeing how dope it was. He didn't really get that chance, but unless some of us sit down and run the vending booth, and it's just like a lot of these situations, you just go out there and vend, and then you can't even go nowhere because you don't know who's about. If you're inside a building, it's different. I think a little bit different, but he was like, we was outside on the street, so it's just like you don't know who was about to come past, and we was in Southeast DC, so we ain't know. You ain't even know who. You don't know what was about to go on, and it's just, I think it's just kind of crazy. Just like I think initially coming in the game as looking at it as an artist, and then depending on what you're saying, like you just think like, oh, I'm about to make these paintings, I'm about to sell them, and you might come in the game and sell a few paintings, but then later online, like a couple years later, it's just like, all right, now I'm trying to figure out how to sell these paintings.
That's another thing I'll touch up on as far as, and it definitely goes for artists also. It sucks, and it's kind of like the dark side of the business, but you gotta bug the hell out of people. Like if you really want your painting to be sold to like some famous person, you might have to tag them for about 6 months. You might have to.
The crazy thing about that is like I see some of these people that really like they give their paintings to famous people and then nothing comes from it. But then I think Sideline Images, like she's really like somebody from Day 26, Love and Hip Hop, people are really contacting her to buy her pieces. It's like it works. Like you just kind of figure like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. You kind of got to figure it out.
Use the resources that you have. A lot of that is, you can start a hashtag. That's a big one. Now social media like Instagram and stuff like that is starting to be a little bit more sensitive because people are tagging people too much and stuff. So
they have the branding rule now,
right? That's on there now. So, but just putting yourself, like from having a radio show, I have to be ahead of the marketing schedule for booking. So I gotta go to people's websites and see where they're projected to go to, and then shoot them. Because if I wait until the
don't shoot them, man. Don't shoot them, bro. Come on, dog. Let them live.
I'm just saying, man.
Come on,
man. But a lot, like if I wait until like the month that they're gonna be here, 9UCQ has already gotten that interview, so their time is already booked up. But if I've been able to talk to people who. I'm still come through. I'm gonna call in for a couple seconds. I can still do that because you're already a part of the calendar. But you got to be ahead of time, and it sounds like a lot of work, but this is what you're doing. If you want it to be sold, you got to be ahead of yourself. If you're putting out a book, I know some authors that put out a book every 3 months. When do you have time to market this? Then they come to a convention, they got about 20 different types of books sitting on their table because they're trying to push all of these because they trying to get it out so somebody can read it because there are people asking them for another book. No, you got to give time for marketing. You got to give time. I just learned with doing like the Sticky Bun Festival. You need a year for any corporate sponsorship.
Yeah.
You need at least 4 to 5 months for any local sponsorship, and that's something that you have to really put time and effort into.
Well, that's what that's one of the things I spoke about in my book from authors that want to begin writing, is that you're supposed to be promoting your novel at least 6 months to a year before it releases.
Right.
Like, yeah, you're supposed to be the image and everything. You're supposed to be
when you know, right, when you got the title and the image,
yeah,
you need to go with it.
Yeah.
That's how I am when it comes to my acting in the film work in the movies that I'm in. I'm in movies right now that's not even released yet, but I know
Right.
when they start releasing it, it's going to be like one's going to be back to back, like right here, this month coming out, and then this month this one's coming out. So I always try to do it like that, like a business way, like just to have things like you said earlier, like just line it back to back.
I think I come across that when I run Artist Vision, because it's like taking me. I'm looking at it completely different from artists. I was like doing interviews, and like honestly, sometimes I'd be frustrated because I'm just like, man, I sent you the questions, just do them. But then it's just like I'm not really paying attention to.
So that's so now. Now you.
I mean, I think you have the lack of confidence in some artists that, because I think I come across a lot of artists that's kind of on the startup. So they don't know if they really want to do it. They don't know if they want to come up here and do an interview. They don't know, like, they're nervous about it. But it's just kind of like one of them things.
Get over
like, just do it. Right. Like, we had one friend, MJ, like, he really was like procrastinating with his shirt designs and stuff like that. But then he was just one day, he was just like last week, he was like, yeah, man, I just made my business cards and went out with it, and all of a sudden connections just fell into his lap.
Turnaround, like, with the connections.
Like,
yeah.
But that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Once you start talking to people, TJ, you start seeing a response. Whether they bought something or not, it was still a response.
Yeah. Right.
And then that gives you energy. That gives you liquid courage to be able to.
That goes back to the whole thing where I said where the target marketing. One thing you have to understand is not only as an artist but also as an artist that has to be about their business. A no is just an elimination of your customers. Like, once you realize that if I hey, here's my flyer, you tell me no, I know you don't want my book. I won't look your way again. Yeah, you want the flyer? Just look at a novel. You take it? Okay, cool. I know who my audience is now. You get out here with your business cards, with your artwork, or for whatever you pass them out regardless. Your audience is gonna find you.
Aside from that, talk to people, because that person that said no may just not. And that's the point of this station, this show right here, is more engagement. Yeah. I need to know, for my money, for Nate's money, that we have a connection. We may not have had the same upbringing, but we got the same mindset. Your money ain't going to booty and boobs. I need to know those things.
It is, but
I'm saying, you got on glasses right now, so that means it's going to health insurance. So you're spending your money wisely. I see flyers, but a lot of artists, you don't see those things. So all I'm thinking is, you smell like pot and you got a bill over there, so that's all your money going to. No, thank you. I'm not doing that. But if you engage, just talk. And you can just talk about something. The book sells itself. Yeah. Because then the person like, yeah, so tell me more about this book. After they've had a conversation and gotten in close with you. Now, you can't do that to everybody at, let's say, a vending event. But you can do that with at least 5 or 10 people, you know, at a vending event. So that's 5 or 10 books sold.
A lot of people is not. A lot of people don't engage at. Sometimes you just see them at vending events, just sitting down and not really engaging their customers.
Well, and that's another thing. Also, I mean, if you're gonna vend, you need to go online or you need to talk to somebody that's done it before. You need to figure out. You're supposed to have a certain amount of items, signature items, and branded items at your table. It's supposed to be pens with your label on it. It's supposed to be keychains, whatever it is. You're supposed to have certain stuff that even if people don't acknowledge your product, they can take something. People love free stuff. Have something there that you can pass along. That's still marketing, part of marketing also. When you out there engaging, hey, how you doing? Oh, you don't have enough time to buy the book? It's okay. Hey, take this free keychain or this free pen, this free bookmark. That person on a dull day might be chilling. Oh, damn, I did get this from that guy. Or somebody else might find it. It just you gotta use all your channels.
Yeah, I think
and when you're talking to them, hey, what's your social media? And you get that information right then and there. Like, don't tell nobody Google you. Don't tell nobody, look me up.
I'm gonna be honest with you,
and I'm gonna go ahead about my business.
I'm gonna be honest though, it do feel good to be Googled. Like that's not.
Let somebody choose to Google you.
Yeah, that's true.
You talking, or somebody say your name and they, get it down real quick. That's what Google is for.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to initiate a conversation with your business card or saying Google. And I see a lot of artists and entrepreneurs and all in the same doing that, and talk to people. Just be more engaging. We've learned more about each other in this moment than if we were just at a vending event and I came by and said I had a radio show and you said you had a book. Right. That's where the conversation stopped, because if it's I need promotion or I need an artist on my show, and that's when normally sparks an interest. But outside of that, when I'm at events, I rarely tell people I'm at a radio show. I let everybody else around me. I'm normally talking to people to see who's got the best vibe, who I will bring on in my space here to be able to help them promote themselves, or just seeing what's out there, because we have artist development event coming up, because a lot of artist development now is being done by the individual artists and whoever their team is, because a lot of businesses are not, a lot of artists aren't doing that for themselves. Well, it's not, a lot of companies aren't doing that.
It's kind of like music. Like back in the day, they used to really develop the artists on the record label. Now is you pretty much going to the record label with your developed team. Like they looking at you like, can you get back behind
distribution. Distribution. It's the only thing the only thing stopping you from reaching the audience that you want to reach in is distribution. If you don't have that reach for distribution, it's going to be an uphill battle by a long shot.
I believe for actors, it's a little bit different. Like when I go out to events and stuff like that. Like how can like what's the word I can use? How can someone know you this is what you do for a living?
You don't really have a physical. You don't have a physical package that you could give a person right then.
You have business card. You got a business card.
But I mean, business cards, yeah. But like sometimes, I used to everywhere I used to go to events, I always show up with a camera crew. So just to record the whole everything that's going on, and let people know okay, this is the field you're in, or something like that.
No, but I mean, any business, whether you're an artist or you're an accountant, you promote yourself by talking to people. But everything, for me, I don't think everything that I'm gonna do as an actor is gonna be on a stage or in front of a camera. Like sometimes it's just hosting an event. You need a host for your event. I talk for a living. I can talk at your event or whatever that may be. But you have to figure out what it is for you.
Yeah,
but
because like a visual, somebody can come and see something I've created. And that sparks the conversation.
But that doesn't have to be where the sale comes from. Because if you're just meeting this brother, maybe
I'm just saying, in the differences of artistry. I can
say that again. Say that again. Say that example again.
Well, that's what I normally say to artists. But he may not be coming here to buy your painting, but he may need artwork for his book.
What I just said. It's like that's one thing people got to realize. It's a different. People think networking is always just I need to find somebody that can help me get sold, and it's nah, man, it's building a relationship.
But that's that tunnel vision that we have in the beginning of our artistry. But
I'm just saying, I'm listening, how you bring your artwork and you bring your book, so everybody can see what's going on. That's how I feel as though as an actor. And this is I bring my camera crew. The camera crew is my book.
That's what I'm saying. You can physically you can see what I'm displaying before you even get to know me.
Right.
A lot of people know me by my images. A lot of people talk to me and refer to me oh, I've seen something of somebody work that looked like yours. As where Corey has the books. But even with art, I can do shirts, I can do chains, I can do stickers. I have the variety of different things visually that I can do that puts my brand on something. As where in different lights, as an actor, what can you really do? Yeah, but I mean, you need to physically be there. Somebody can have a laptop and my sticker is on it, and they be like, "Oh, who's that?"
And that's true. But that's the same thing when the workshop that we're doing next month, we'll touch on those things, because you have to know how to market yourself in different areas. I learned very quickly in my first year of doing this that I can market myself as an event host. you know, I can go out and host the event or be something. But you know, it's like having a musician and they don't have anything musical on their social media except for pictures of themselves. Like, that's crazy to me.
They don't understand the importance of how something looks. Like,
right,
the appearance of something can really.
From their music.
I think musicians are the ones that are, if I were, in my opinion, I would say are the most misled when it comes to marketing.
Yeah, because a lot of them get caught up in lifestyle. Like, they got to portray a certain type of lifestyle based upon their music.
So this has been an awesome conversation. We're gonna have to have you back on, sir, and talk more with you. Definitely, real quick, let us know where we can find you both on social media. Promote your book, Trustworthy, that's coming out.
So, hey, Trustworthy is suspenseful romance and drama that is exclusively available on Amazon, and I want you guys to check it out. Let me know what you think. By all means, drop a review. I can be reached on Instagram at c.d_ColemanBooks_. And on Twitter, I'm that's_Corey. That's THATS_CORI.
Trustworthy.
TJ Transvision Bates. I host artistvision.com on Be Exchange Radio every second Saturday. My bad. But
he's nervous right now.
I didn't know. I have to flip back and forth. But Transvision, usually Transvision on all social media platforms. For other artists, visual artists, if you want to check out, just need any benefits or any information, check out artistvision.com.
If you want help, if you need assistance, you need education, you need people that want to see you grow and be branded.
Yeah. Your circle is very important, and I'm very appreciative of having a friend, a brother like Corey in a circle.
Feelings mutual, man. Feelings mutual.
King Hollywood on Instagram. You know, sometimes I might be looking for models or actors, so you never know.
So this has been another edition of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Come join us tomorrow at 12 p.m. We have Mama Linda and brother David. They'll be joining us tomorrow, so it might be some drums and such. Next up is It Is What It Is Radio Show. Thank you, Corey, sir.
Hey, thank you. Absolutely.
Sir. Thank you, sir,
for
coming back by. So again, that's been the Artist Exchange Radio Show only on BeExposedRadio.com. Good night.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen.